Welcome to Commander Class number 92. We are so close to the 100th episode. If you're watching this, you're probably going, why is he talking about Indestructible? These videos are to help people understand who are new to the game or want a bit more information on Magic the Gathering. This is getting every single part of Commander and breaking it down into bite-sized chunks. So in this video, I will be going over Indestructible, ways to get it, and good cards that are able to give you or have Indestructible. And then since it's Commander class, I'll be going over a few Commanders. So if you're interested and want to know a little bit more, or if you want to see if there's anything you didn't know about, this video is right for you. But before I go any further, a word from our sponsor. Like all these videos, the sponsor is me. I have a small little Etsy shop where I make funny and somewhat card related merch. I make t-shirts and hoodies. They come in multiple colors and sizes. They're really soft and really good quality. If you like what I do and you want to support the channel, first like and subscribe and share it to your friends, but also buy a t-shirt if you find it to be amusing or you enjoy the merch I make. When it comes to it, all the profits come to making this channel better for use. So let's go straight onto the video. What is Indestructible? The definition of Indestructible is
a permanent with indestructible can't be destroyed by effects that say destroy, such as Doomblade or Wrath of God, or by lethal damage. They can still be countered, exiled, returned to the hand or library, sacrificed, or killed with effects that give negative toughness. Indestructible is now a keyword, not anymore a quality that's true about a permanent, meaning that the indestructible ability can now be removed from a card, making it susceptible to being destroyed. Indestructible first appeared in Darksteel, chiefly among artifacts made of the titular metal, and has appeared in colored creatures in subsequent sets.
In layman's terms, it just means it is very hard to kill. Now with the amount of cards coming out in different variations, Indestructible is not as powerful as it used to be. There is ways around it. But realistically, if you attack and I block and you're more powerful than my creature still lives, and vice versa. It is just more harder to kill than your average person or your average creature, but it's not even creatures as a whole. There is permanents as well that also have Indestructible. It just realistically now means it's harder to get rid of than most things. It comes in two variations: keyword, which is just a word on the card, or written or recent enough because Magic's been going on for 30 years. Counters. You can give Indestructible counters on different types of permanents, which doesn't make much of a difference. It just means that thing now is indestructible where originally it wasn't. When it comes to getting around it, there are -1/-1 counters. If I attack your creature and your creature is indestructible, but my creature is more powerful, it will live. However, if I have ways to give it -1/-1 counters and its toughness goes to 0 or less, it doesn't matter if it's indestructible or not. It is minus the threshold when it comes to counters, which is permanently, and then it will get rid of that creature. So future me here, and yes, I did set up everything again to edit it because I want to do it properly when it comes to Commander class. I made a mistake on the actual original video where I said that all board wipes get rid of all creatures even if they have it indestructible or not, because I read it as some and they just gave a few variations of some, so I just went, all of them do it. I was wrong, and I want to thank everyone in the community that wrote in the comments down below helping me make the mistake to do this edit. So it's board wipes, however it's very certain circumstance of board wipes. If it's just destroy all creatures, like they cannot be regenerated, or they just destroy all creatures, your indestructible creature still lives. But when it comes to other board wipes that give like -1/-1 counters or exile, it does get rid of the creature that is indestructible at that moment of time. So I want to thank everyone in the community to help me out to make these videos better for use, and I will crack on with the rest of the video. Then there is the legendary rule. If you don't know the legendary rule, it's if a creature on the bar in the middle has legendary creature, you can only have one of them. So if you have a legendary creature that's indestructible and you go to copy it, thinking that, oh, it's indestructible, I'm able to have a second one. No, rules still apply and you have to get rid of one. Then there is sacrifice. If I have a card that goes each opponent sacrifices a creature and you have one creature that's indestructible, because you are targeting and you have to get rid of something, unfortunately it being indestructible doesn't matter. If you get rid of it, you get rid of it. And then finally, exile. Exile is a weird way of doing it. It's kind of like if I kill your creature, it goes to the graveyard. Indestructible stops that. So if I play murder, which is just destroy target creature, and target your indestructible creature, it still lives and my card fizzles. Because it's going to the graveyard, it's dying, but it's indestructible, so it cannot die. However, exile is kind of like putting it in a cage and bringing it to a realm where no one knows it can be. So it's still technically alive, but it's also technically dead because it's not on the battlefield. So exiling a creature with indestructible is a way to get rid of a creature with indestructible. Now there's multiple ways that cards have indestructible or gain indestructible, starting off with just having the keyword on the card. Majority of them would be creatures that have indestructible, but there are other permanents that also are indestructible and will just have the keyword printed on the card. Then there is instances. Pretty much an instant way to do it is if you are attacking and blocking, there is a little step in between that you're able to play instances. So if you don't want your creature to die, you can make it indestructible for the combat and it'll still live depending on what's happening. Then there is enchantments. There are some enchantments that are indestructible, but there's also enchantments that give indestructible. It's usually like enchant creature. That is usually when it comes to enchantments. Then there is creatures giving other things indestructible. There's creatures that give all other creatures indestructible. There's some cards that give artifacts indestructible or enchantments. It depends on what is written on the card, but there's no keyword for it. It will just say this creature gives all of blank indestructible. Then there is artifacts that have it or give it, and then there's equipment as well that also give it as well. So when you equip onto a creature, it'll say equipped creature has indestructible. The main one I usually see is an artifact called Darksteel Ignite, I think, that has just indestructible and it's a colorless mana rock. And then the rarest out of them all is Planeswalkers. There is, from the top of my head, 2 Planeswalkers that are able to give indestructible to other people, player or permanents or other things like that. So as I promised, this is Commander class. When it comes to this, I'll be going over commanders that have indestructible. So if you're interested in that and want to build a deck about indestructible, these are possibly the best ones. Majority of them are going to be gods and stuff like that, but there is going to be a list below of all cards that have indestructible on them. So if you're interested, to look down there. But when it comes to this, commanders you can play with indestructible are
Athreus, God of Passage, Avacyn, Angel of Hope, Erebus, God of the Dead, Heliod, Sun-Crowned, Kiramatra, God of Harvests, Caranus, God of Storms, Clothes, God of Destiny, Khanda, Lord of Uganjo, Magus, God of Slaughter, Nilia, God of the Hunt, Faraka, God of Affliction, Phalanx, God of Deception, Perforas, God of the Forge, Tajik, Blade of the Legion, Thassa, Deep Dwelling, Ulamog, The Ceaseless Hunger, Zitalpa, Primal Dawn.
In the old days, indestructible was way more powerful than it is now because there's more and more ways to get around it. -1/-1 counters are becoming more and more available to get. Exile is also more and more every set being able to get your hands on, and indestructible used to be a very god heavy thing, and now it's kind of going into other plethoras. Indestructible is kind of getting weaker and weaker each year, so unfortunately it'll get to the point where it's going to rather change and they're going to make a new version that's more powerful, like a mixture of indestructible and ward, or it's just going to kind of be a keyword that people don't really use anymore or are trying to get on other permanents they have. In my opinion, I do like indestructible as a ability or keyword, but I don't really use it often myself. It's not something when I build a deck I try and focus on. But there are so many commanders that are indestructible that are a pain to get rid of. So if you've played any of these or you have an indestructible commander or card that you absolutely love, let me know in the comments down below. While you're there, remember to like and subscribe and follow and all that use and ask for. But if you love these little snippets of Commander and you're interested in watching more, I have last week's episode here, a playlist of all the Commander classes I have here, and a subscribe button here. And again, thank you for your support. Can't wait to get the 100th episode out, and I will see you all in the next video.